Welcome to He Changed the World from Forest Baptist Church, a series of talks about Jesus Christ from Mark's Gospel, recorded by me, David Last. Talk number 37, Freedom, Mark chapter 10, verse 1 through to verse 12. Freedom. We hear pleas for freedom in all kinds of places and for all kinds of reasons. Political, religious, economic, judicial. But one that's commonly heard is in relationships, where one person in a couple says to the other, "I need my freedom. This no longer works for me. We should separate. We should divorce." In Mark's Gospel, Jesus meets some men who believe it's important to be able to talk that way. Their society actually doesn't make it very easy for a wife to divorce her husband, but the other way around is a lot simpler. And these men are glad. Yet, not everyone agrees with them that divorce is right. So the men bring the debate to Jesus. What does he think? It sounds like they have respect for Jesus. He's a wise man of principle who can advise them. But no. There are actually hidden motives behind their words. Firstly, they want to cause Jesus trouble because they don't like him. And questioning him on divorce is a great way to do that. Others tend to react defensively and angrily when we query their conduct in a relationship. So if Jesus says the wrong thing about divorce, he could rapidly have people turning on him, especially some of those with real power, such as the king, who only recently had a relative of Jesus's killed after he challenged the ruler about his unfaithful lifestyle. But secondly, these guys also want to justify their own faithless behaviour. When they've been with a woman for a while, she loses her shine in their eyes. They notice others, more attractive, more interesting, more accessible, probably younger, maybe richer. And they want the freedom to move on without anyone questioning what good people they are. They want sexual freedom without any hindrance to their social status, position, or reputation. So these men appear to want Jesus' advice, but in reality, they're playing him. Do you ever do that? Do you ever use apparently honest discussion actually to manipulate another, to get what you want? Do you ever use words to try to control somebody, to make them look like they're the one in the wrong, so that you can justify yourself? Do you twist others' words or play with their emotions until you've got the upper hand? It's a horrible way to behave. But these men do it. Jesus, however, won't be controlled. He admits that this group typically behave legally, but that doesn't make them good. He points out that God designed the pattern of human romance to be marriage between one man and one woman, with total reliability and faithfulness. Anything else is like tearing at the fabric God made for society. And the fact that we have let our behaviour morph into many other forms and legalise them doesn't make them good. That's Jesus' response. It's not one likely to win him many friends, either in his day or ours. Even Jesus' team struggle with his words. We aren't told if they've ever personally exploited the sort of relational freedom being discussed, but they'd like to have divorce as an option. After all, many of them are young men, filled with energy, travelling the country with Jesus, attracting great crowds. There's a lot of interest in them. Some of it may turn sexual. They might need a bit of freedom. Jesus knows that. So he doubles down on his words. If they, or others, break their marriages to satisfy their lust, then no matter how legally they behave, there will be no excuse they can give him. It will be adultery. And God spoke against adultery in his 10 great commandments. It will be sin. You see, Jesus knows his friends, and he wants their very best, which means saving them from their sins. But he can't do that unless he speaks plainly about it and risks their anger. So he tells them the truth out of love for them. What do you think? Is Jesus right to say that our forays into romance, sex and relationships cannot simply be based on how we feel? Is he right to say that we have to think about what God made us to be? Otherwise it will lead us down dangerous paths? Or do you find yourself irritated by him? And if so, why? What really bothers you here? Could it be, in fact, that there's something wrong that you need to face up to in your life? Thanks for watching. As you ponder what you've heard from Jesus, listen to the story itself as it's now read out from the Bible, and then pray. I also hope you'll return for the next video.
Mark chapter 10, verse 1 to 12. Jesus then left that place and went into the region of Judea and across the Jordan. Again, crowds of people came to him, and as was his custom, he taught them. Some Pharisees came and tested him by asking, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife?" "What did Moses command you?" he replied. They said, "Moses permitted a man to write a certificate of divorce and send her away." "It was because of your hearts were hard that Moses wrote you this law," Jesus replied. "But at the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let not man separate." When they were in the house again, the disciples asked Jesus about this. He answered, "Anyone who divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery against her. And if she divorces her husband and marries another man, she commits adultery.